glacier was sliced off. But closer to the epicentre, people are trying to get their lives back to normal. Basic services and supplies have been cut. Water, sewage and electricity has been severed in parts of the city, and fuel supplies have been running short. The central city is now a restricted zone. One of its tallest buildings, the Grand Chancellor Hotel, is expected to collapse, further hampering rescue efforts in the worst affected area. Tania Page, AlJazeera, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Well, like other recent uprisings, the web is playing an important role. Our web desk is keeping an eye on it.
Well, the internet might be down or at least severely restricted in Libya, but the story's still making it out of the country. I'll have the latest of online content.
And violent confrontations in Greece as anti-austerity protesters fight running battles with the police.
Business Latest is brought to you by Capco in just about everything. Business Latest is brought to you by Capco in just about everything.
Welcome back to our extensive coverage of Libya's uprising here on Al Jazeera. Let's just run you through some of the most recent developments. Al-Qaeda's North African wing has condemned Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi and said that it'll do whatever it can to bring him down. That's according to reports from Jihadist Forum monitors. President Barack Obama said the US is looking at a full range of options on how to deal with the crisis. He's repeated that the violence must stop. Meanwhile, Libyan state television has aired pictures of captured men who it says were plotting to assassinate officials. It also interviewed Gaddafi's daughter Aisha, refuting reports that she'd left the country. Well, with communications to Libya disrupted, once again, the internet and its numerous social media websites have played a prominent role in getting images and information out of the country. Well, Tarek's at the web desk with some of the details. Tarek.
Well, thanks. So, with internet access severely restricted in Libya, we are seeing an increasing amount of information coming online via third parties. First, a video which was sent to us from a viewer in the Netherlands. He claims it came from a friend in Libya. It was filmed on Monday around 6 in the evening in the Nur Fleen area of Tripoli. Shots can be heard and men in uniform are seen firing their guns. The man who filmed this says they are police officers, but it's unclear who exactly they're firing at. Well, another way people are getting their voices heard outside the country is calling into a website called Feb17 Voices. This liner allows them to record an audio message, which is then put up on the web. Have a listen to this one.
The day we left, we had killings, rioting in the street. I don't know if this was true, but what we heard from people as in reference that some houses, women got raped by them, and so we had to leave that location. Things have been quiet after his speech. Thousands of people left in fear, even if you're anti-government. They went into the streets and they were very scared. They raised up the green flag and started chanting, "Yeah, we want Gaddafi, we want Gaddafi." He announced that with a text message that the schools have been back in order. Everyone should start working. Everyone should go back to their ordinary lives. We heard from families in Benghazi, they said there's supposed to be a march of dozens of people coming towards our way.
Well, we've been hearing reports that the city of Derna is no longer under government control, one of a number of areas. This video posted to the web claims to show a group of women. They're holding the so-called liberation flag, protesting in the yard of an old mosque. They're chanting anti-Gaddafi slogans. And in the last few minutes, these images have been posted to the website feb17.info. They claim to show protesters in the city of Misrata, no longer under government control. And if they're correct, Misrata is the largest city in the west of the country to fall into opposition hands. Well, there's plenty more to come, but for now, back to you.
Thanks very much, Tarek. Well, oil prices are the highest they've ever been for over 2 years. The unrest in Libya is largely to blame. Around a quarter of Libya's oil facilities have been shut down. Output is down by at least 400,000 barrels of oil per day. And in Indonesia, oil production has been cut by around 40,000 barrels per day since the start of January. Its energy regulator says unplanned shutdowns are to blame. Oil prices are continuing to rise. In Thursday trading in Singapore, for example, prices spiked at $113 per barrel before falling slightly back. Well, Stephen Levine is the author of The Oil and the Glory. He's also a contributing editor to the Foreign Policy magazine. He thinks prices could go as $150 a barrel.
There's a high probability that the whole volume will be shut down. Libya has declared force majeure, and in history, when any country has declared force majeure, in almost every case, all of the volume has been shut down. That would be a loss to the world market of about 1.1 million barrels a day. I think that this volatility, the price volatility, will go on for some time. The U.S. crude went over $100 a barrel for the first time since 2008. The Brent went over 110. The reason that oil prices are so volatile right now is not necessarily because traders are looking at Libya. It's because they're looking at Saudi Arabia. There is some uncertainty, there's some concern about, one, whether unrest will spread into Saudi Arabia's eastern province, that's where most of its oil is, and second, whether Saudi Arabia can compensate for any volume of oil that is shut down in Libya.
Protesters have been fighting running battles with police as thousands of demonstrators voice their anger over austerity measures in Greece. Stephanie Decker has more.
Riot police trying to control thousands of Greek protesters on the streets of Athens. Tensions are high. 2 police officers get into trouble. Molotov cocktail finds its target. He manages to get away relatively unharmed. Tough austerity measures to help curb Greece's massive debt has meant job losses, pension cuts and lower salaries. Many people feel they've been paying the price and they've had enough.
The measures must